Hello everyone, welcome back to the second session. In this session, we are going to learn about how we are going to define the classes. And before proceed further, I would like to revise the concepts what we learned in our first session. So we talked about classes and objects, and in simple terms, the classes are the templates which represents the common characteristics and common behavior of an object. So at the same time, an object is an instance of the class. Okay, then we talked about few of the examples of the classes and objects, and consider yourself as in order to design a class, we should be well aware of our objects, how our objects are going to behave, and in we have to group together the objects, and based on a group of objects we will design the classes. Okay, so in other terms, the classes are nothing but the templates uh, representing the common characteristics and common behavior of your objects. Okay, so when I say attributes, it common characteristics, when I say, it means your attributes, and when I say common behavior, that means your methods or actions which your objects are going to perform. Okay, so very quickly, without wasting a time, we would like to start this particular session with how classes works, how classes are going to work, and what all parts are there. So first of all, before starting this particular thing, how we are going to define the classes, we should know how many types of classes are there. So there are two types of classes. One is your local classes, and another one is your global classes. Okay, so as we already aware, you must be aware, like local classes are local to the programs, and the global classes can be used by any of the reports or programs. Okay, so when I say local, what does that mean? Local, let's say if it is an if it is a report, if this is a report, and we have certain classes inside this particular report, then these particular classes cannot be accessed, or the attributes or characteristics of these particular classes will not be accessed outside of this program. Okay, at the same time, when we design the classes as global classes, then any of the reports or programs or function modules or methods can access the characteristics and behavior of this particular class. So this is a very simple example where we can use the how the local classes are different from the global classes. So in our implementation project, or in any of the projects, we usually have to design the global classes, but in order to understand the basics of the object-oriented programming, we should start our session with the local classes, so that the base would get clear. Okay, now in order to understand that, we'll very quickly go into the ABAP screen. So this is the screen where this is SA38 screen where we write the reports, and inside that particular uh, this report, we will see like how we are going to define our classes. So in any class, whenever we are defining a class, so we should understand like there are always two parts. One is the implementation part, and another one is the definition part. So in any of the during the definition or designing of a local class, we have two parts. So part one is your definition part, and part two is your implementation part. Okay, so there are two parts. One is the definition part, another one is the implementation part. So first, let's design the definition part. Let's talk about the definition part, how it looks like. So as we are designing the class, so the keyword here is the class. Then, because this is a local class, then we will start with L is for local, CL is the class underscore my first class. Okay, so this is how the naming convention should be. Your LCL stands for your local classes. Then because this is a definition part, we should have the definition keyword. Then we should have the and class. So this is the definition part which we are talking about. At the same time, now we should have the implementation part as well. So again, class, okay, so class and the same name what we have at the top. Okay, so we should have the same and the implementation part. Okay, now in the same way we should end up this particular implementation part with the end class syntax. Okay, so there are two parts we already discussed about the definition part and the implementation part. So when we talk about the definition part, so inside the definition part we should aware, like in our next session we'll talk about the visibility section. So for time being, just park what is a visibility section. So we'll just see visibility sections are there. Okay, visibility sections are there, and under that we have three things like public section, then we have the protected section, and then we have the private section. What are these sections? We'll talk about this in a later in the upcoming sessions, but for time being we should remember like what all things we should have inside the class definition. So we have something called public section, protected section, and the private section. We are familiar with the words called public and the private. So let's say if it whatever things we are going to declare, we will declare for time being in the public section. So this is normal ABAP data, because this is local variable LV underscore, let's say, characteristics attribute 1 attr 1 type, or I would say this is LV public type string. Okay, so this is our public attribute, and as long as we have this we don't have any methods inside the definition part, so there is no need of putting the implementation section. But if we have the methods, method defined inside the public section or protected section or private section, then we should be having the implementation part as well. Okay, so how we declare a method? Using the keywords methods. Then let's say my public method. Okay, so this is the keyword to define the method. Because we have the method syntax or method defined inside our definition part, if I do the syntax check, let's see what system will say. So system is saying there is a syntax error which says like the implementation is missing. So if we have declared or defined a method inside the class definition, we should have the implementation part as well. So implementation part should come on inside the implementation section. Then we have the syntax for that is method, not methods. Okay, then I would say like my public method public underscore method is the body where I'll put the logic. It should get ended up with the and method keyword. Okay, so this is now if I do the syntax check, my system should not allow me to proceed further. So that's where it is saying no syntax error. That means now I have the skeleton ready. So here I can put inside the implementation part, I can put I can put any logic. Okay, so this is how we can define a class locally inside a report. Hope you enjoyed this session. If yes, then do subscribe our channel and put your valuable comments in order so that we can improve our training or the quality of the training we are giving. Okay, thanks a lot. See you soon.